is to say that use the systematic, okay, proven. If you can use a simulation, also can, but use systematic based on the data. Okay, investigate and effectiveness of policy intervention. Any policy that they want to implement, ada policy yang nak dilaksanakan itu in term of their kekuatan, in their merit, in term of which one is most important, which one is less. Okay, itu yang ditengok. Worth and value in terms of improving the social and economic condition. Sometimes the policy you need to make, it will not what call positive policy, or maybe in terms of attractive, but in terms of the benefit, the value, the merit, the worth, okay, to improve in other factors maybe. Use quantitative and qualitative methods, experiment, non-experiment, descriptive, experiential method based on experiment, in the lab, in the what we call observation, theory-based approach. Some what they call policy, the discipline yang menggunakan theory-based, okay, research synthesis method. This one later on you akan faham lah when you when you take research method. Okay, so there are many what they call in the world, in actual there is many information available, so there is many techniques in order to predict. Ini base one is what objective, the evaluation or the policy yang nak dibuat ni, okay, is to predict is what is going on. Policy evaluation for government privilege no single method or inquiry acknowledge the complementary potential of different research method. Okay, so sometimes the policy yang dijalankan oleh government is sometimes they are bukan tak tengok, they are not really focused on what are the methods, but they are more focused on the keperluan, privilege. Okay, well got the requirement during that time. Okay, or preference, they call it what is the requirement during that time. So type of evaluation, berbagai jenis penilaian based on summative, summary, from the word summary. Sometimes called impact evaluation. What they discuss about the impact of the policy, program or intervention on specific outcome. Apakah kesan dia kepada apa yang terjadi. A different group of people or different group of communities. So the objective is to estimate the effect of policy in terms of expected of outset, apa yang dijangka akan berlaku. Okay, is what is impact. Okay, there is a summative based summary. Formative, formality evaluation, sometimes process evaluation. Okay, there are a certain step in the process before you can what we call put a figure ataupun based on the perluan, which is the best, as how, why, and under what condition policy work or fail to work. So it will determining the objective, implementation, and delivery of policy program of project. This one is more process evaluation. Normally formative, it will they akan gather information. They take the information on the contextual factors, mechanism, and process underlying a policy success or failure. So they based on the context, mechanism, and process. So these three factors, CMP, contextual, in term of bagaimana berlaku mechanism, and also in term of the process yang going through. So it's addressed more on which policy is suitable for which group. Example. So in order to carry out the evaluation, need organizing, purpose. Same thing when you do practical analysis, SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, what we call opportunity and threats. Okay. In term of summary, how the approach is based on broad issue. Apakah isu-isu yang sekarang tengah diperkatakan hangat? Okay. Identify the assess potential cost and benefit of competing policies. Adakah polisi yang berlaku sekarang ada counter dual standard or anything what we call cannot be complete ataupun memberi kesan yang berbeza. Okay. Provide general direction for broadly focused action. This one in terms of how they want to approach, they akan lihat pada in general what will be more focus. Okay. Action need to be done. Tetapi in this conducting evaluation policy, example, for any countries, okay, especially this one is related to the government policy in transportation, often corrupted or subverted by political motivated. Okay. So depend on the government of the information influence, no? Government influence during they can give the budget, okay, to implement any policy. So ada soalan? So policy studies in terms of policy is a general guidelines. In terms of this transport policy and planning, you boleh dapatkan in terms of you can Google out one book, Business and Economic by World Bank in terms of transport policy and planning. An integrated analytical approach. Current volume is 968. how they can what do you call, in terms of how they derive in terms of planning and policy. Dia ada beberapa aspek that they are looking at. So for more information, you can get this copy. The drawback is this study can be corrupted or by this one repetitive, subverted by the political. In terms of evaluation method and techniques, there are many process ataupun technique, not process, is the technique or kaedah. Method is a kaedah to do the evaluation. Analyzing trick. So it's more analyze and centric. Centric is focus. Individual problem and its solution, its scope is on micro scale. Okay. Example in terms of most effective and efficient solution and in technical and economic terms. Okay. In terms of how allocation of resources memberi impact kepada technical and economic. The policy process approach focal point into political process and involve stakeholders. Pihak yang stakeholders, pihak yang berkepentingan, bukan yang pemilik share. Stakeholders is can be affected. It's based on meso scale and problem interpretation is usually of a political nature. So it will determine what process and mean are used and try to explain. Many factors yang ada, which factors yang akan will be focus. Okay. In terms of the political, in terms of factors of economy, in terms of focus on what we call regulation. Example in terms of enhance public participation and consultation to the studies. The meta, the word is meta, is big, macro scale. Meta policy approach, system and context approach, scope of macro scale. Problem interpretation usually of a structural nature by what we call by structure. Explain the contextual factor of the policy process. What are the political, economic, and social cultural factors influencing it? Okay, there are more political, social, and economic, social, and another maybe technology. As problem may result because of structural factors. So they focus in if there is a problem, they will change in terms of the structure itself. Okay, sebab their scope based on the structure. So they focus one structure by another structure. Methodology is kaedah. Policy analysis is methodology diverse using both qualitative and quantitative. Maybe can select one or two, or maybe both, including case study, survey research, based on analysis on factors, statistical factors analysis, and model building among others. So this one of the common methodology have been used. Give the criteria. Give in term of dia punya value in term of factors value. Okay. If you said about maybe in term of what I call traffic congestion. So traffic accident. Which one is more important? Accident. Okay. In term of the P value is higher compared to the apa congestion ataupun traffic jam. Itu contoh And then there are model of policy analysis. Berbagai model yang boleh digunakan. Okay, institutional model is more on political institution, government agency, so they tend to use this model of institutional model. In terms of process, they are based on the demand and also what are the current state. Example in terms of problem and demand for government action. Flood, contohnya banjir. So it can involve in terms of transportation. Okay. So based on the problem, banjir, and then it will cut in terms of the road. Okay, you cannot use the road. So how to solve the problem? Okay, the problem is in terms of banjir, not the road connectivity. So they implement, example, smart tower tunnel in KL. Important when there is a heavy rain, and then they will, although investment is high, but it's important in terms of the transportation. Transportation, it gives in terms of economy value. Okay. So formulation of policy proposal by various parties. So it will take consideration, interest group, there will be debate. Okay. There will be selected board, think tanks, interest group. So there will be what I call policy in the process to regularize, legalize, not regularize. Regulation and legislation. Okay. Selection and enactment of policy known as policy legitimation. Okay. And then they will do the evaluation of the policy. Okay. Any question so far? I will stop for today, and then I will share again your QR code. Ada soalan? No?
No question, Doctor.
This Wednesday will be quiz online. I will make announcement if it happen. this Wednesday on online learning and also in WhatsApp group. So please make sure you do the quiz. If not, you cannot get the marks. Tak dapat markah kalau you tak buat. Macam mana saya nak bagi markah? Okay, I will open a few hours, more than 10 hours okay, for you to do. So please find your suitable time. Internet okay, connection, everything. You need to have the compassion to do it. Okay, online. Only 5 questions. Very simple. Okay,
Doctor,
that's all. Yeah,
for the quiz, which chapter is it going to cover?
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, 10 question, is it?
5 questions.
5 question. So
Question
what
2
is the
marks.
form? Is it an MCQ or true and false?
MCQ and true and false.
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
Ya, terima kasih.